pay parade, shown. Take one step forward, say the last three numbers of your number and your name. Salute the officer. Hop, 2, 3, down. Take your pay with the left hand. Thank you, sir. Salute the officer. Hop, 2, 3, down. One step back. Turn to the right and march off. That's what I had to do in the British Army, and I earned 28 shillings doing that. That was £1.40 in new decimal currency. Had to work hard to get your pay, but that was the pay parade. So I'm going to tell you a few stories now about life in the British Army, 1955 to 58. And first of all, we're going to start with my life in England. So we start off, I was in what you call Crookham in the Royal Army Medical Corps training ground there. And first of all, you're put into a squad called the B1 squad. That one there, we had a sergeant Wardropper his name was, and I'm sat next in the front row. I'm on the left of the sergeant, and he was a good bloke. Then after that we was transferred to E1 squad, and that's the one down below. And the sergeant, he was a corporal, I forgot his name. He's the one dressed in white as a ghost, and I'm sitting on the floor by the side of him. That was in Crookham in Hampshire. After we learned how to do saluting and marching and stuff like that. When you're in the army and you're 18 years old, a fresh-faced soldier, never had any jobs, straight from school, you know, it's all a big shock. We had to make the Royal Army Medical Corps display of the Serpent of Healing and the Rod of Aesculapius and the laurel wreaths, and then each little dot, it's actually in red on the badge, represents the VCs earned in the First World War by all the brave surgeons and doctors and people of the Royal Army Medical Corps, and you had to know all their names. Then this one is where we are doing training. That's there. The bottom there is a cookhouse, and then there's a barrack room there, and that's where we did our training for 2 weeks. Basic training, then moved up to E1 squad. Oh, where are they? Now these were all taken with my first good camera, which was a British Ensign Selfix camera like this. So it's a similar one to this, not the actual one because I sold the actual one. Takes 120 or 620 film, and they've all taken with an Ensign Selfix. So here's some. I've got my locker here, your bed. Look, you had your bed, and you had your army helmet, blinking thing, and your webbing layout. And there we are, bed, and there's some mates here. Oh dear, oh dear. Then we had some forcible exercise on a Wednesday. You had to do sports. So my mate and I, we elected to do cross-country running. Didn't fancy rugby with all these huge big squaddies knocking you over after a rugby football. We did cross-country running because we could run out past the gate and don't look at the bell, otherwise the regimental police would make you polish it. You keep your eyes straight, run out. Across the road there was a little river. Cross to the towpath on the river, run down for about a mile, and that was his nan's little cottage at the end. And then we'd run into his nan's cottage and we'd stuff ourselves with cakes and tea and stuff and watch television. Then when it got time to come back, we'd go and come past the into the camp again. That was our forcible exercise, cross-country running. Always remember that. After the initial training and passing out parade, where my mum and dad was very pleased to see me, I went to Millbank, the college, the Royal Army Medical College at Millbank, next to the Tate Modern, or Tate Britain as it's called. And there's a picture. I'm next to the warrant officer, W.O. Baker he's called. That was our training to learn pathology. So we had to learn what all these tropical diseases look like, and if anybody came back from Malaya, they had malaria, we had to recognise that. And that was quite interesting, where I learned to look under the microscope. And then I was sent to District Laboratory, Royal Herbert Hospital at Woolwich. That's south of the River Thames. And we had quite some times there. I had a bicycle, I could sleep at home because I was in East Ham opposite. there's some of our mates in the Royal Herbert Hospital of Woolwich there. Some of the staff we had, most of them are all dead now, but our sergeant, here's a story. His name was Sergeant Peterson, and he used to organise parties. And we'd get the nurses, he would, and we'd have a curry supper, and we'd all sit down at a table and have curry supper, and we'd drink drinks out of urine glasses full up with Coca-Cola, but laced with absolute alcohol. And sometimes the nurses would wake up in the haematology lab and they didn't realise where they were. That's Sergeant Peterson. I always remember him. Here I've got a picture of him pretending to play a clarinet in the band. They're all taken with flash bulbs. That's Sergeant Peterson there, if you can see it. There he is. And he was demobbed after so many years. He wasn't a national serviceman. So we also had, in the district lab at Woolwich, we had people from the Burmese army. And we had Sergeant Ong Hlang, I remember, of the Burmese army. But we had some fun. We had I just dropped one of the photos. Well, I want to show you. We had a captain there, and he used to have a bit of fun with Sergeant Peterson, because Peterson bought an air rifle. So he would they would go into the captain's room, and we all stand behind the officer's room, and they would pop pigeons off the ledges of the hospital wing opposite. He killed pigeons, and then sometimes they hit the glass, and sometimes you'd see an irate nursing sister whip up a window and look out to see what was happening. God was all scared of the nursing sisters. The Queen Alexander's Royal Army Nursing Corps they were. Gosh, some of them, blimey, they'd tell you off. But that was fun they had with an air rifle. Now comes the Suez crisis. They was going to drop us in by parachute to form number 4 field hospital. I didn't fancy that, being hanging on the parachute like this with a helmet while a load of Egyptians were shooting at you from down below. I didn't quite fancy that. But then they found that I was lucky. I was due to go to Germany. So I didn't go on the Suez crisis in 1956. But they painted all their ambulances sand colour, and they all went and got tropical kit, shorts and stuff. And then the US of A, told the British and French, told them off and told them to stop it. So they had to do what the Americans said and stop the invasion of Suez. And that was over after about a week. So they had to repaint all the ambulances green again and hand back all their tropical kit. I was sent off to Germany, and that will be in part 2 of my stories, my trip to Germany. But I used to have some fun in the district laboratory in Woolwich there. I say I could sleep at home, and I could go on with bicycle, and I could pedal it across another tunnel of the River Thames up to the Royal Herbert Hospital at Shooters Hill and park it down below. So that was quite a deal. I used to quite enjoy doing microscopic work. I did all the ologies, haematology, bacteriology, serology, and a few things that weren't ologies, like biochemistry. We'd have to test people's urines, and then we'd have to do bacteriology and test vaginal swabs. from the wives of the soldiers. God almighty. And then grow bacteria from them, see what was happening. That later in Germany, I tested for venereal diseases, but I'll tell you that later. But in Royal Herbert Hospital was the first time I saw a dead body. Now, I'd never seen a dead body. Even when my nan died and my pop died, that's my granddad, my mum and dad, they would never let me see any dead bodies. But we saw a dead baby. That was the first dead body we'd seen. And we saw him having a post-mortem on the dead baby. Some of them fainted. But having done biology at school and dissected earthworms and dissected dogfish and stuff at East Ham Grammar School, I wasn't too fazed with seeing a poor little kid being dissected and find out what was wrong with it, all that business. They had to do it. That was a sort of a legal thing in the army. When people died, you had to have a post-mortem. But that served me well later on in Germany when I became battle-hardened NCO. There we are. And well, there's a few bits about my stories in England, and I'll tell you in my next episode my adventures in Germany. So bye bye for now, folks. See me in the next episode, and if you like my stories, please subscribe down below and I'll get back to you later. Thank you very much for watching. This is 232 50 788 Corporal Elgar, or Private Elgar as I was then, signing off. Thank you for watching.